I wouldn't want to sit up in the 500 level. There'd be ants.
BJ, Entertainment from the sport. I'm curious, how's your training been different for this fight than the last one? I know you said you didn't take training seriously until you're 28. And you've said that there's been some holes that you see in George's game.
I think that was the other way around. I didn't say that. I didn't say that he had holes in his game.
Okay, well, what have you been doing training differently for this fight than
He's actually training now.
Yeah, I'm just real focused. Just eating good food. Doing all the stuff a fighter should do. His striking, his takedowns, his grappling, and his strength and conditioning, and it's nothing special. We talk about all the time. It's not here. It's here, and something down here.
And George, what have you been doing differently for BJ this time around?
Well, I'm not the same fighter that I used to be the first time. Every time I've lost in my career, I always came back better. Since I fought BJ Penn, I've lost to Sarah and I became a different fighter. I changed my training routine, my entourage, and a little bit the same for me. I became more professional, more serious in everything that I've been doing in all aspects of the game. So we're both different fighters than we used to be back in the days, and we're gonna fight each other when we are at our prime.
Yeah.
More GSP, baby.
Question for George and for BJ. I got to see you guys in Vegas when the tour first started, and now you guys are in Toronto. If you could just talk both about having to be in the same room together for so long, knowing that you've got to put it all on the line in January, and just give us a little some emotional thoughts on that.
Yeah, George is not a bad guy to be around, so it's not as bad as being around other people. He's professional. He just does his thing, minds his own business, and the animosity's there. We know what we got to do in 2 months, so we kind of just keep our distance. But other than that, George is all right.
Same thing for me. BJ is not a trash talker. I don't think we need to talk bad about each other to hype up this fight. Just the fight itself, people are willing to go see it.
Hell yeah!
The thing is, it's a fighting sport, it's a full contact sport, and we're gonna have to fight each other and try to hurt each other. So he's a nice guy, of course. I respect him as a person, as a fighter, but I don't want to be too close to him. I don't want to be friends with him. So we just do our thing and things are going well.
As you can see here, the Toronto fans are giving you lots of love, but what's in store for George St.Pierre when he gets to Hawaii?
I don't think it'll be too bad. They really like George and they respect him out there, and they know that he's one of the top pound-for-pound fighters. They know he's the world champion, and they'll give respect when respect's due, and George deserves it.
BJ, in terms of the first fight, you felt you won, right?
In terms of the first fight, if I wanted to grade myself and be critical on myself, I would say that's not the way I would have wanted to win, you know what I mean? But do I feel like I got my ass kicked? No.
You will.
Pass him up, BJ!
Hi, BJ. Neil Springer with Canoe.ca. Let's say you beat George St.Pierre in January. I heard it back there. And then you go after everyone else you lost to. Would you like to face, say, Lyoto Machida again, or Jens Pulver in another game of table tennis, or?
Nice. I think I better stay away from the tennis, but I really wouldn't mind fighting Matt Hughes one more time.
Yeah. Why? Because he's at the end of his career? You want to dominate an old man?
I'm here to talk about GSP. If you want to hear about Kenny Florian, go to bjpenn.com.
Green Blair at 680. I'm just curious, why would you want to fight Matt Hughes again?
Because he's old.
Did anyone ever kick your ass before and you got pissed off about it?
No.
Yeah, I mean, this is a sport, but you still end up with personal grudges, come January 31st, I beat St.Pierre, you don't think he's going to want to fight me again? Doesn't matter if it's 5 years down the road. You just, as a fighter, you got that, and that's what makes you a fighter. The fact that you got me this one, I don't care, I'm not scared, I'm going to come back and get you the next one.
You see a lot in the sport, guys, when on bench, their losses and clean up the record.
Question again for both fighters. BJ, first things first, in terms of George St. Pierre's last performance against John Fitch, we saw him go into uncharted waters, going 5 rounds. If I get your thoughts on that fight. And George, BJ Penn's fight versus Sean Sherk, we got to see a completely different fighter in terms of a guy who understands striking range and knows how to just slip punches absolutely perfectly. If you can give us your thoughts on his performance versus Sherk.
I thought George and Fitch was a great fight, and we really got to see George's whole game in that fight, I mean, I know there's always stuff that you don't bring out to every fight, but we really got to see his whole game. We got to see him 5 rounds. We seen him on the top, we seen him on the bottom, we seen him kicking, punching, sprawling, doing takedowns, and we really got to take a look at everything George has and how he digs deep, and he did a good job that night, and that's a great tape actually for me to take a look at, because it went 5 rounds. It's not like me and Sherk where we just boxed the whole time. I mean, what did I improve? Who knows? But I see that George is, and and after watching the Fitch fight, George is good at everything. It's safe to say that, and that's about it. I thought it was a great fight.
Sean Sherk, BJ, I think BJ dominated him pretty well. So I didn't have to see anything about him. I've been watching a lot of tape of his fight, of his previous fight. I know he's a way much improved version than the same guy that I fought last time. So I would have to adjust myself, and what I have to say is just that I'm pretty confident. What he did to Sean Sherk, I truly believe that I'm not Sean Sherk, I'm George St.Pierre, I'm a different guy.
Any more questions from the press?
You guys are pathetic. The press sucks. Sorry, it's not the way.
You guys just talked about watching each other's tapes. Is there anything that you see in George? Is there anything you see in BJ's game that you want to exploit? And it's a question to you, BJ.
I do have a strategy coming into that fight, and we put it all together. And it's like a little bit when you play a card, you don't want to show your hand. And I don't want to too much talk about it because BJ might do the adjustment, but of course I will have a specific game plan that I will execute it.
I see some tendencies in different fighters, but I don't really have a strategy when I go into a fight. I just go in, and my strategy is that I just got to get my hand raised, and I'm going to punch the guy as hard as I can and try to slam him on his head as hard as I can, and that's about as far as my strategy goes.
Looking at your styles, both since the last time you fought, BJ, it looks like you've worked a lot on your striking, and George more on your wrestling. What are we going to see in this fight?
Oh my God.
Dana, if you want to answer that, what are we expecting?
Yeah, Dana White's fighting.
Obviously, George St. Pierre, like he was saying, is very well-rounded. There aren't too many holes in this kid's game. His wrestling is phenomenal. He can take down any wrestler. You saw that with Koscheck. You saw it